God just carried me through. I've tried all other options, and none of them compares to you. No one that's like you. Although it's hard for me to see it all the way that you do, but you're helping me see it's bigger than me, so that my life will bring honor to you. So many times that I've tried on my own without seeking you, but I found out the truth. Outside of Jesus, I'm a lost cause. I can't go a day without you.
Music.
Living in a world without you. It's not even a world without you. Nothing else compares, and nothing's too far beyond repair. When I give it to you, I'm not afraid to face tomorrow, 'cause I don't have to face it alone. Failure's not the end. With you, I can get back up again. Nobody like you.
I see you moving every mountain. Not intimidated by my problems. Looking for an answer and I found it. Ain't no other way around it. Ain't no living life without you.
Just showed it to me. Said, man, I just thought I'd do this for you.
All the glory and the honor, all the meaning and the power.
Definitely did a good job.
Lord, I'm learning how to trust you, even when it's hard to trace you. When situations try to break us, I know I serve a God who won't forsake us. Water in the desert, very present help. I'm never by myself. He stayed and never left me.
All the children are football players.
It makes sense.
Two of them got one scholarship. One of them goes to all
outside of Jesus, I'm a lost cause.
I guess that's unexpected. They are that good.
Living in a world without you.
Give me Black Jalen on vibes on the back.
What's that?
Give me Black Jalen on vibes on the back.
And nothing's too far
I see they figure out how you can
when I give it to you. I'm not afraid to face tomorrow.
Some people
I don't have to face it alone. Failure's not the end.
They are some of the
I
most
can
talented
get
people.
back up again.
$1 million.
Nobody like you.
They should. They make their own music, like their own lyrics.
There's no one greater.
That's a testimony to go with it.
I can never find another friend that will be closer. Nobody like you. Even if I don't know his plan, I'll trust his promise.
Dear God, just pray that we're going to need to see this. It gets to the right people, to the right background. Thanks so much, everyone, for your help. We thank you for the future. I just haven't done this, haven't done any more than any testimony that reaches out to people that need to hear this. So you guys should be with them, give them strength. Thanks so much for my pastor. For more than the pastor, he's my friend. Father figure than me. So I want to say thank you so much for that. Continue that shit you just watch over us, give us strength. Continue just to be dynamic in our lives, be ahead. Jesus God. Amen.
Amen. Amen. I'm here live with the one and only. That is late Seastrunk. What's happening, young man?
What's up, Pops?
You know, whenever I hear your voice on the phone, I say, you know, I was just thinking about him. I heard you always make sure you call me at least every couple of weeks.
I got to check in. I think that's more important because you did more things for me, just not just in an athlete perspective, more so as in like a spiritual aspect. Like I only think I really, as I've been here, I think I missed maybe 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 or 3 Sundays of church. I don't think I really missed.
Yeah, you did. You know, y'all would have games on Saturday and you would be at church on Sundays. And I say that was the Lord. You letting the Lord know how much you appreciate him blessing you with that opportunity. So I don't take any of that credit. That all goes to God and the character of a young man that you are.
Right.
Because somewhere down the line, you discovered the higher power that's more greater than any other source that we have, that we can lean on. And God had brought you this far. And I've enjoyed knowing you because I know your journey. I know you beyond the football player. beyond the dude that ran 60 yards with a pull hamstring, and they should never let that defensive back on the field.
What's crazy enough, my boy Justin, man, he got drafted first round. So I
Did
mean,
he?
Yeah, he got drafted first round. It was beyond that. Jay Gibb is a good man, good dude. I pulled my quad actually. People don't understand the quad is the biggest muscle in your leg. So if that goes out, you go down. So like I said again, that was all God. Honestly, I paid the price for it though. I think I couldn't walk for like a week.
Oh wow! How did they treat an injury like that?
Oh man, they really didn't know. They thought I had a cramp, and I was like, no, this is beyond a cramp. And then I guess like as the dust settled, that's when they looked at my leg and they can see where it internally was bleeding, like it was purple, and I had to do like an MRI. They just pulled muscle, and then a lot of stem, a lot of cold tub. Cold tub was below 40. I know sometimes I was like, yo, this is super cold, but I kind of healed really, really fast. Thank God. I think it took me 2 weeks to start running again. So it was, that was probably one of the worst injuries. Even when I partially tore my groin, it didn't hurt as bad as the quad.
And you did both those injuries at Baylor?
Yes.
Man, I remember that you was telling us how your leg was purple and it was internal bleeding and all of that. But, God's been good to you. And I want to give you credit for listening to his voice when he called you. You remember we talked about some situations. And I said a lot of times God has to slow you down so he can speak to you.
Oh, for sure.
You can't repair your car while you're driving your car.
Right.
So a lot of time, God will pull you off to the side so he can minister to you. So you can take time to hear him. He does that to all of us. Even to me at this point in my life, this stage in my walk of faith, he still has pulled me off to the side and say, look, hold up. You still got work to do. Still got something to work on. What did you enjoy most about playing at Baylor? Honestly, your college football career, let's just put it like that.
I mean, honestly, what I enjoyed the most was honestly Art Browse and Coach Kazadi. They gave me something that I'm always keep with me, and I'm always be able to give to my children once I have kids. And I really appreciated RB for just sewing into me. I think the one thing that honestly stays with me is that like we really appreciate that you take care of your body and you stay out of the way, which everybody knew I was the kid that was going to the late night releases to go grab Call of Duty at GameStop. That was one of my coolest things. But most importantly, Kazadi gave me just wisdom and just determination and that fire that never leave. Like even when I don't play, I still go out and work out and run, and it's just something like that competitive spirit never dies. It stays there with you.
Oh, wow.
So the discipline though, but what Kazadi built while we were here, that's why we have, multiple Big 12 championships. And but most importantly, just our brows, literally people give him a bad rap, but for me, he gave me he let us grow in the men. Just same was Kazadi did.
Now who's on the feed. Your boy Ahmad Dixon. We've been calling Marty all this life. Now, Ahmad, you got my number, bro. If you want to be in on the conversation, all you got to do is call my phone, Ahmad, and we'll bring you in live on this. So I know you got stuff to talk about. So if you want to be on the talk with us, Ahmad, I know you're up there coaching. He's big time now. He's coaching in Vegas. So Ahmad, just call my number, 254-292-0056, and we'll get you in here with your boy. But I miss Art Browse because I moved away. I've actually been in Waco 40 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I've been in Waco 40 years. And the Art Browse run was the best time to be a Baylor Bear fan. We always had teams that we can get a bowl invitation. But when Art came in, I remember when they turned around and they had his name down as a coach prospect. I said, it's over with, get him. And if you look at his coaching tree, number one, Cos. Dino Babers is still at Syracuse.
Man, we love Dino, man.
Yeah,
we love Coach Norwood. We like that's just the dynamic team itself. Like we had everybody you can think of.
And it was some great men that come through that. I mean, great coaches.
Yes.
And Art would come into the barbershop. Hey, what y'all doing? I remember the first time he came in the barbershop, and I told him, I said, you remember I had all the jerseys hanging up?
Yeah.
I said, I'm just going to say this. Do you know what the difference in the jerseys hanging up on the wall, what they have in common with the team that you taking over? He said, what's that? I said, ain't no real football players in them. He said, well, I'm going to fix that. And within a year, you could tell the impact. And I think it was people like, well, you would be able to, as an outsider, I'm like the Coach Cars, the Norwoods, and all of the people that he brought. They had a great staff together.
One thing I think I could have did better at is just more so just reading the room as a kid. I really didn't. I'm like the Coach Cars. I think one thing I could have did better at is just more so just reading the room. I was young. I didn't have that good voice of reason in my ear. I wouldn't say not a good voice. I just didn't have the people that kind of understood football and the other side of football. I should have low-key just been like talking to Ahmad the entire time, because I was the whole entire process. When Ahmad committed to Baylor, I should have asked him a few questions. Like, granted, I already met Art Browse and his entire team. I should have just more so unlikely but me and Rob had a really good relationship just before all of that even happened. I knew him before I knew Baylor, and then at the fact I watched him play. So, I mean, granted, I'm not mad about my path, how I got there.
Mm-hmm.
I could have kind of like mitigated all the headache if I kind of like would have just paid attention a little bit more, had the right people in my corner, and I would have been able to been here from the start. I know Ahmad would have loved that, because Ahmad is the only reason I came to Baylor. I was going back to LSU, and he called me super quick. I mean, he called me so fast. He was like, what you doing? You transferring? I was like, yeah, I'm going to LSU. He said, no, you're not. He hung up. He called me back. He called me back within like 5 minutes, and he said, hey, RB gonna call you. I was like, all right. Called me within like 5 minutes. He said, hey, what you doing? I'm going to LSU, coach. Like, I'm just letting you know. He's like, no, come visit us real quick. You right down the street from us. And I mean, within the minute, as I literally was moving, I think I took a red eye that night. Got home. I think my uncle and his wife came and picked me up and took me straight to Baylor. Before I could even do anything, I was just already like, you know what? I'm home. I'm right down the street from the house. I'm gonna go ahead and go for it. And when I did, it was just one of those things to where I don't look back from it, because I came in and I think I did the impossible. I think it was like 5 games, had 1,000 yards. I don't think that's ever been done. So
that's crazy.
So
it made going over there. Check this out. I was telling somebody this, and I was laughing. All my family, either Aggies or Longhorn fans. They played for the Longhorns and other Aggies. And we were at our family reunion. I said, let me tell you something. Growing up, did you ever think in your wildest imagination that the Baylor TCU game would be bigger than the Texas OU game?
Yeah.
It was twice. Baylor TCU game day was in Waco and in Fort Worth, while the Longhorns were playing the Sooners. I thought that was crazy.
Correct.
And I know the Big 12 was glad to get rid of Art Browse, because y'all owned Oklahoma and Texas.
I mean, my freshman year, though, no, we gave them a run for their money. That's when we really found in our groove. That's when the coaches trusted me enough to actually start. And that was like one of my bigger games that I had 3 touchdowns in. That's when they really started to be like, okay, he really can play. And I think I started to trust myself, but I still had a great quarterback. Nick he brought me along, and he knew I was young. He knew it was like my first big game, but he still trusted me enough to be like, okay, like, we're going to do this together. And it was fun. Like I said, again, he was a hell of a teacher and a hell of a person. We're going to do this together. And it was fun.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, that was awesome. And the thing I like is that he brought real D1 players. I mean, no knock on the former coaching staff. They didn't win. They weren't even competitive. And they had linebackers your size. When Art came in, no. He brought legitimate size guys. He brought in D1 athletes. And I like how he went out and got JUCO linemen to protect his quarterbacks. Saying, we're going to bring some freshmen in, but he brought in JUCOs that's already mature and strong and all of that. Who was one of the hardest guys that y'all played back when you could tackle during practice, right?
Right.
Who was the hardest guy that you had to play against?
Oh man. You got, like I said again, you got from G Mays, you got forgive me, y'all, it's been a minute, but I think they defense as a whole, because you had Elliot Coffey at the time, you had Mike Hicks. Mike Hicks was a dog. A dog. And then you had like from Terrence Singletary, not Terrence, Terrence. My bad, Terrence. Terrence is nice. You got Eddie Lackey, Ahmad Dixon. Like the whole defense was stacked. I can't even name them all because there were just so many. But if I had to just pick, I think they whole defense was honestly made me better every single day. Even Sean Oakman made me better. Going against him made it so much easier to go against any other D lineman because he was long, he was strong.
The beast
was you can't there's nothing you could think about. Our defense was just stacked. I can't even just pick one. I think all of them, because all of them gave me valuable lessons. Like even Chris, like that, like I said again, the whole entire defense from where Ahmad and they whole defense was stacked. Like it from speed, they can tackle. Orion Stewart was another. He can go to corner. He can go to strong safety. He just one of them guys that was just multi-talented. Even with Ahmad can play multiple positions. Eddie Lackey, G Mays can play linebacker if he choose to, because he just had the body type for it. Even Chris, C-Mac, dudes are just built to run.
Now, you named probably two of the best athletes to come through Waco, Ahmad Dixon and Orion Stewart. They were legitimate guys. And I appreciated the fact that they stayed in Waco because everybody wanted them. I remember Ahmad to tell you that he had made a verbal to Texas, and I talked him out of it. I said, man, Texas got all these boys. They're going to be down there. Man, we need you to stay here in Waco. And I told him, man, verbal, you haven't signed anything. And he was such an innocent kid. But Ahmad Dixon needed to be arrested for some of them hits he put on people. Oh, Lord.
I was he tried to put me on the receiving end of those. And I was letting Ahmad know I'm not letting you hit me like that. But Ahmad was the type of person, I love playing with him in practice, because if I made him miss, he'll grab something and he'll be like, hey, I need y'all help, come get him. And then it'll just be one of those things. But they defense just made you better. Like, they knew exactly what to do.
And they were ball hawks. They get their hands on the ball. And y'all had great, but you played with RG3 too. What was that like?
I grew up with Rob. So, I mean, he's no stranger to me. I'm no stranger to him. Robert's an all-around good person. Like, he knew what to do. Dude's intelligent. Like I said again, I wish I would have been so young-minded. I wish I kind of understood, because he was talking about building something instead of going to something that's already established. And like I said again, it's just me being young at the time. If I would have had somebody in my ear that kind of understood the game a little bit instead of just me trying to figure it out, I probably would have started with him and probably would have ended with him, if that makes sense. Because between Terrence Ganaway, my boy K Wright, T-Dub, you had so many different threats just on offense alone. It was a scary sight. There was a reason. That's when they beat Oklahoma, when Tito caught that game winning catch, when you knew when things were changing. So I happened to get here at the right time. Guys started to trust me in a sense, because I was showing up in practice every day and treated practice like it was game. And then once they threw me out there, that's when I kind of knew, like, okay, this can really go further than what I thought.
And so do you feel like you fulfill your ambition in college as far as playing football? For sure.
I feel like I hit everything on the head. Granted, I could have stayed another year. I mean, like I said, again, God don't make no mistakes. So I felt like that was the best decision for me at the time. And you can't cry and be like, oh, I could have did this, but everything happened the way it did. No, regardless of how it turned out, I'm not mad at any of the scars that happened to my heart, because they molded me into the person I am today. It's why I'm in the position I am in today. That's why I'm in the field I am today. So I think that's kind of what gave my passion for me being in radiology now, or finishing.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
This is a mod on the line.
Oh, you can't forget a mod.
What's up, boy?
What's up with you, man?
I got your boy right here. This is a mod Dixon. Where you at?
Sir.
Where you at, man?
I'm in Vegas right now.
You know, I saw you on Facebook. I said he's up there coaching.
Oh man, I'm trying to do my best impression of Phil Bennett, but not too much though.
I know that's right. You enjoying yourself up there?
Yeah, man, I'm enjoying myself. I'm enjoying it, man. They're trying to help these kids as much as possible so they can get the opportunity. Me and Mr. Seastrunk got the experience.
Man, Phil Bennett hated me, by the way.
Hey, now let me ask you something. Did you ever get to put a good shot on Lake?
Nah, you know what? Lake probably the only person in my whole life that actually got away from me. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say that I used to try to chase him down. Lake is the only person in the history of me playing football that I never chased down from the back.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, but man, shoot, dude was I'm in Lake in what grade was we in? Like
No,
seventh grade?
It was sixth grade. It was sixth grade, and I never forget this because that's how we became like real close. You said, "Hey man, you old buddy." I was like, "Yeah, you a my Dixon." He said, "Hey man, I got something for you." Jerry, Jerry, the soccer player. I was like, "You talking about old girl that run the mile?" Yeah. Yep. She's trying to holler at you. Who? And ever since then, it was been tight.
Ever since then,
Mark was a bad boy when he was a little boy. He would run touchdowns and do the Deion Sanders and all that.
Oh yeah, Look at it. He did that when I went to I came to check him out at Floyd Casey, and I think that was the district championship.
Yeah, we played Corsicana.
Yeah, I came there. I said, Mott, I see you, and Mott ended up doing the Ray Lewis opening dance. I was like, yo, this is so funny. But he was locking up. I think he had like 3 picks that game. I think he had a forced fumble, and he had a pick 6. I was like, oh my God.
For those of us who watch you guys play, and I watched him play from Pop Warner League through high school and college. Those of us in the stands, well, I'm one of those persons that would be in the stand. I'm there for entertainment. I'm there to support the guys, but I want to see entertainment. I want to see somebody act crazy when they score a touchdown. I want to see somebody do a Superman when they hit him with one of them saliva knockers, I don't want to see no flags for celebration because those are things that we can't do. But I'm going to tell you what happened to Ahmad. We went out there. I took some kids out there one day to something that Odell James had put on. They had a hard time trying to catch me. Tell the truth. Y'all couldn't even catch me, could you?
No, we couldn't.
They did me like the hyenas. I was running out from it. Then they finally cut me off and I got winded. Just for your information, young man, it took me 2 weeks to recover from that. Sitting in Epsom salt, in hot water Epsom salt. I was drinking Epsom salt.
I'm still mad at the fact that before I went to Oregon, I didn't talk to Ahmad as much as I wanted to. I'm just more so happy that the fact when I was transferred, he was the first person that called me. I mean, immediately and asked me where was I going. I said, I'm gonna go to LSU. He said, no, we're not going. And he hung up. It's like, all right. Call me back and said, hey, RB gonna call you. Called me. And I was just so confused. I was like, yo, this is so quick. Then all of a sudden, as I got there, Miles like, you still want to leave?
Yeah.
you don't you want to come back? I was like, he said, yeah, man, home is LSU. He said, bro, you was down the road, bro. I used to see you, bro. Just come on back. And then what's funny, nobody knows is me coming back. I wore all my Oregon stuff when I went to the national championship my freshman year. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. It was either him or Coach Kyle. He said, hey, that don't look like Baylor issue gear. and then Coach Kazadi ran out. He said, hey, take it off before I rip it off. I was like, I earned this. He said, earn it here.
Yeah.
You know what? Say less.
They should have snatched it. Ahmad would go snatch it off of you. He just was,
anyway.
He would have snatched it off of you and burnt it or threw it in the river.
Oh, Ma hit me with the, you want to wear that? I said, I did go to the national championship my freshman year. Remember that? He said, do it here. And then Ahmad backdoored him and said, yeah. Thought it was a game, do it here.
Yeah, do it here. You know what I'm saying? And you know the good thing about when Lake came to Baylor, a lot of people were just, I mean, like y'all was talking about, we was just getting that recognition like that. At the time, I was the highest recruit. So when I found out what Lake had going on in his personal life and all of that type of stuff, and I looked at how Baylor, us as a football team, could maximize off of this opportunity of getting somebody with this big name, somebody that's such a great athlete, a great player, a great young man. And I wanted to hold up my end of the bargain that I made to myself and to my city of Waco, that I'm going to do everything that I possibly could to get the best players that we could possibly get to Baylor. And honestly, once I came to Baylor, I mean, it was a couple of guys that wanted to come to Baylor, but once we got the number one running back in the nation, 5-star recruit, this guy that's on ESPN magazines and all of that type of stuff. Once we got Lake to come to Baylor, it was just like everybody understood the assignment. Hey, let's go to Baylor, let's make a name for ourselves, and let's go be great. You know, and it was he doesn't really understand what that commitment and him coming to Baylor, what that did for so many people at Baylor and the history and the brand of Baylor itself. But man, it was so crazy to see how big Baylor grew just off of the fact that he came. I'll never forget the first day he got here. Like he was saying, he's pulling up in all this Oregon stuff. And Lake had got to wake up probably like 7, 8 o'clock at night, maybe 9 o'clock. But by 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, it was already on ESPN that Lake Seastrunk was on Baylor campus.
Yeah, that was
so
insane.
Like,
no, that was insane.
It's like it was that big of a deal for him to come to Baylor. So I mean, just letting it be known and giving him his flowers as well, letting him know, like, man, what you did for the city of Waco and what you did for Baylor just for coming, man, I appreciate you. Like I said, I just want to give him his flowers for what he did, because that was a big move to go from Oregon, who was literally playing in the national championship, to come to Baylor, where we had barely won 6 games. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people said what they said about him. Oh, man, that was dumb of him. That was this. But like you said, God makes no mistakes. And when he came to Baylor, how everything just gelled together immediately. It's crazy how God works, man. And man, it's like I said, I just want to tip my hat and tell him I appreciate him for even taking my word to come to Baylor and step out on faith and make that grand decision to be able to transform the program. I mean, yeah, it died down a little bit, but that Baylor program is still thriving off of that heart that we put in there. It's still going off of that, and those are the things that I want a lot of people and a lot of ex-Baylor guys to understand, that yeah, because things went the way it went, but that success that's happening, that happened because of what we put into that, what we decided to do, and what we gave up in the brotherhood that we built for that. So I mean, just letting it, and I know next weekend it will be a big weekend for Baylor football and all of that. But I just want to let everybody know that from somebody that's from Waco, to all you guys that came to Baylor, I appreciate y'all and what y'all did for my city.
Well, you know what? It was great to get Lake, but, you know, getting you to decommit from the Longhorns was a pretty big thing, too.
Yeah, no, because the thing about it was, like, he was asking me to come to UT. And, I mean, at the time, I wasn't thinking, like, I was like, it's not about the head coach. I love the head coach. It was just like I didn't want a quarterback to teach a running back how to play ball, but then at the same time, in turn, I had Coach Levy, which was in turn a lineman coach, teaching the running backs how to play. But you understand, the linemen are the guys that see everything. So he kind of gave me a perspective on everything. But am I not even telling you that when I got to Baylor, I wasn't even supposed to play? I was behind Glasgow and Jared Salubi and Terrence Ganaway. It was to the point to where I think I wasn't playing. This is after the year that I set out and I was actually eligible to play. And I was breaking, even when I got in the game cold and I broke a run, they were like, uh-oh. And then the thing about it was we lost 5 straight. I was like, We're already 5-0. We've been playing these guys. Like, what do you want to do?
Waiting on, huh?
And then as soon as Kansas, we played Kansas. That was like the opening. And then K-State, when I had the long run, Ahmad came up to him. He said, you don't have to never worry about sitting on the bench.
Let me ask y'all this. Let me ask both of you this. Are you still kind of stay connected to the football program? Do y'all ever go over there or go to the games? Or
they don't want nothing to do with us.
They don't want nothing to do with us.
They don't want nothing to do with us. They literally tried to wipe everything that Art did under the table. Like, I still believe that if Art was still here, like, we wouldn't look like Oregon. We would still have the traditional forest green, the light gold, the black of the black, not the black that looks like it's ashy black. That's just me. To me, it just looks like a carbon copy of Oregon because they got the same colors.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, as somebody, I loved Art Briles. Everybody know that I'm an Art Briles guy. When they got rid of him, I was like, oh no, that was the biggest blow because you're never gonna get back to that point.
Yeah,
where you would, Ahmad, you remember that you played when Baylor and TCU game was bigger than Texas OU at the Cotton Bowl.
Oh yeah, definitely. I remember that, and it's so crazy because my freshman year, before we had even gotten good like that, and that's when TCU was good. They had just came off undefeated season and all of that. Andy Dalton and all those guys had just got drafted. So when that was the first time, and the first time they did that, it wasn't really. I think we was the only game like national big team that was playing that week. So, but that second time they did it, when it was in Waco and they came to Waco and we beat them, oh man, that was like
I remember that.
That was like so crazy because we weren't even expecting College Game Day to be there. College Game Day ended up letting us know they was coming like in the middle of the week. So we weren't prepared for it or none of that. So once they came and we realized how big of a stage we were on, oh man, it made us so hungry. But yeah, we knew.
Who kept y'all focused on the big stage?
Coach Kazadi.
Coach Kazadi. Oh yeah.
Oh, Andy Temperillo for me. Andy Temperillo.
Yeah, Temperillo. And see, Coach had a saying that he would tell us all the time. Every man wants rich, but no man wants work. Every man wants heaven, but no man wants to die.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They Cos made y'all carry those water bottles or whatever that was too.
Oh yeah, you got to have a gallon of water every day, and it better not be on the same level it was yesterday.
And then I remember when I first got there, I never carried my water bottle, and then man, like granted, I had to. It was more so I had to. It was to the point to where I come to practice and just do people bad, and I had to literally be humble. And it was Coach Kazadi that humbled me because I was at practice just not. I go run full speed, and laugh at people and just like mess with people all day. But then it came to the point to like, hey, Lake, we know you have the ability, show humility, and work harder. Cause then I never forget. I was running with my intermediates. They had me intermediates. And I was cruising. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be an easy day for me. Coach Kaz hit me with the Lake. I had to know. Get with the skill. I was like, you told me that I didn't get with the skill. I'm like, oh. And from now on, you can't lose. I say, what do you mean? You lose one, it's a loaf. Everybody gonna run. I said, oh, man.
And that day, I think we ran like 16. No, we ran like
26. We ran 26,
26. Bro. And Lake had lost. Lake lost like 3, but he came in. If he even came in close to losing, he had to win by like 3 to 4 yards in order for it to count.
Yeah.
So if he didn't win by 3 or 4, it didn't count. And like that day, he had probably like 12 of them that he didn't win by 3 or 4 yards, and we had to do extra.
Not even that. He talked about the first time we did this. The second time, I only lost one. And I only lost one. Well, actually, no, I tied. And he was like,
he had a tie with I want to say it was Tevin. Was it Ganaway or was it Tevin Reese?
Nah, it was who was it? It was A Good. It was A Good.
Yeah, Antoine Good. Yep, you're right.
That's the only. And then A Good looked. And then the thing about we had to go back. And I won there, and I dropped to a knee. Ahmad came and said, bro, get up. I said, bro, I don't got nothing left. A Good said, bro, come on. They picked me up. because I was laying on the ground. I literally had a knee on the ground. I was like, I don't got nothing left. And all you hear is coach like, you either get up or everybody go. I got up.
Now, you know what? Here's something that I noticed. The strength and conditioning coach, I didn't really know how much they mattered until I met Cos. Because if you think about this, Cos left Baylor. He goes to SMU. SMU was losing. They get Cos, they start winning. TCU was down. They get Cos, they start back winning. I mean, strength and conditioning. Yeah, y'all share some of that insight. Why that matters?
It was more. I know for me, Cos literally he was a man of very few words, but when he spoke with passion. He spoke with conviction. I know for me, he said, "Like, you just tapping the surface of what you can really do." And I thought I was really nice when I first got there. I think, Amar, you can chime in. I think that year after that, I think that after K-State, that's when I really started to evolve into my own. And that's when people really couldn't stop me. It was just more so. That's why Oklahoma came to me like, bro, he scored 3 on us. That never happened.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I know for me, see, like, what I wasn't never, I mean, and see, you know, shoot, wake up, no, I wasn't no big kid like that. I was little old scrawny dude running around here. But for me, Cos made me believe, you know what I'm saying? And it's a different type of belief when you know what I'm saying, as like Lake is saying, when you making plays on your own and when you doing all of this stuff on your own. But when you have somebody like Cos Kazadi who's looking for any type of room for improvement, and it's not a degrading thing, but it's something because he's always looking to better you and not just as an athlete, but as a man, as a father, as a son, as a husband, or whatever lane you're in, he's looking to help you be better. And the thing about Cos Kazadi, this is bigger than just football.
I remember when Cos would come up to the barbershop. One of the football players left his water bottle, and Cos saw it and grabbed it. He said, somebody gonna be missing. So one time a football player left it up there, and we hid it because Cos was on his way. He said, man, I sure thank you. But I want to tell you what I really knew. He was a different cat. I think it was the Singletary, Mike Singletary's son, and that group. They were
that person he got there.
Yeah, he got there. So he came into the barbershop. All them guys come to the barbershop. And Singletary's son say, man, why you so hard on folk? Man, you taking this stuff too serious. If Cos look like he's about ready to choke that boy, he say, I'm not none of your friend. I'm not up here to get along with you.
Right, exactly.
I'm not. He checked him hard. And I said, you know what? You start seeing the difference in championship material and people up here because of their lineage, nepotism. Right. You know,
Lake can attest to that. He'll tell you about when he first came to Baylor and he was trying to talk to Coach Cos. He learned quick. Cos don't talk. If you have not got on the field, he don't talk to you.
Correct.
He don't say a word to you. He don't speak. He don't say bye. He don't say nothing to you. He will literally stand next to you and tell somebody else to tell you what he said because he don't talk to unproven people.
Let me give you a drum roll on that.
Yeah, that was funny. I think honestly, because I remember I never forget Phil Bennett I thought he hated my guts. He might still do. Maybe he don't. But I remember we was all in the meeting. He says, anybody been to the national championship? I raised my hand. And then he says, anybody won a national championship or played in it? Raised my hand. Then you ain't did shit. I said, well, I have a ring and you don't. They told me to get out.
He should have. They should have jumped on you.
He was bad. I was like, oh, I mean, you asked the question. I got a ring.
Yeah.
So, Ahmad, I heard you got married. You got married?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I actually be having my official wedding June 14th of next year in Vegas.
And he still ain't invited me. Man.
I'm trying to, as the scriptures say, when I was a child, I did childish things. So when I became a man, I put away those childish things. So, yeah, I just had to do a little growing up, a little soul searching, and do what I needed to do, what I knew to do.
Well, congratulations. I think somebody told me. I said, you know what? He must get married in Waco.
Nah,
Yeah.
we like think about it.
I was telling Lake that I was at the hospital the day Ahmad was born. Both his brothers. I was at the hospital. We were that close. My son was his mother and father's ring boy at the wedding. We go back that far back. And I've enjoyed watching you, the maturation process of Ahmad Dixon, because I go by how I know that person. Can't nobody tell me nothing about Lake, Ahmad, Orion. And I know people because of the relationship we have. And to watch you, to enjoy your life and fulfill your obligations and the man that you become, it's just been a joy, because I even watch you with the arena, not the arena league, the USFL and all of that. And I always said, Lake could tell you this. Blake was telling me, you remember back when they wanted you to go play, I think Memphis or somewhere. Right. And I said this, I say, Lake come to me with that pastor stuff. You know what I'm saying? He hit me with the pastor thing. Like, I'm supposed to pray about this and I'm going to give him this. Yeah. And I say, number one, I've never had that type of ability that somebody wanted me to come play or do anything professionally. And I say, I think you should do your very best as long as you can. And when the time comes for you to stop playing, you will know it. And that's what it is watching you guys. It didn't stop because of NFL. I mean, you got paid professionally to play football.
Correct.
Right.
You know, and I look at the success that you guys have had and the memories and the war stories that you can tell. And it's been very inspirational. Now, what are you doing up there in Las Vegas now?
Yeah, just coaching. I coach freshman football at a high school by the name of Liberty High School. I'm the D coordinator and DB coach for the freshman team. I do a little assisting with varsity as well. So, yeah, man, I'm just trying to build my my own name as a coach, and not only just build my name, but also learn the game from a coach's perspective, not just from a player's perspective. Because I mean, that's two different views, that's two different understandings, and I'm learning that as I'm doing this, because a lot of stuff that I see, I'm having to understand that these kids don't see it that way, or they don't understand it that way. So it's very humbling for me, though. I can honestly say that coaching has been a very humbling experience, just due to the fact of me having to, it's teaching me how to control myself in more ways than I actually thought that it would have.
Well, it's called emotional intelligence.
Right.
I wish I learned that years ago. I probably would have been further in life. Now, let me ask you this. Midway has some dynamic teams with y'all. And ever since I've been in Waco, all I hear is Waco High should have won all these championships. Now, I didn't, they started naming teams. I say, well, that team, I watched Longview run that counter trade through Waco. I watched y'all get beat. So I don't want to hear that we had the talent. I don't want to hear y'all talking to us or whatever. And now it's just not even competitive. I don't even know if it's 200 people at the Waco High games. Now, from the outside, and you're qualified because you're Waco and you qualified to answer this. What do you feel like the problem is? Can you really fix Waco High?
Yeah, I feel like Waco High can be fixed. I really do believe that. I more so feel like the problem. I won't even say it's in Waco High or just Waco, but it's all across the nation, all across the globe. Is more so of the parental and the child's relationship when it comes to structure, discipline, integrity, respect. All of those things in households have now been diminished, and it's starting to flow over into real life things, or people's relationships, or the things that they're going through, or things that they're dealing with. So I'm saying that to say, the problem, how we will be able to fix that problem is us as a whole, as a community, we have to come together and show these kids that somebody does love them, that somebody does care about them, that life isn't over because mom or dad went to jail or mom or dad died or whatever the case may be that turns them to the streets. We got to show them that it's more to life than just the gang banging, the streets, the drug selling and all of that, the killing and all of that type of stuff. We gotta get back to how it was when I was growing up. You know, we had the guys like yourself, the guys, I mean, even the dope dealers back then, they understood, hey, these are children, these are athletes. Don't allow them to cross over into this lifestyle knowing that they have a brighter future ahead. Nowadays, you have so many people that don't care about your future. They don't care nothing about what you've been through, none of that. All they want you to do is what they want you to do. So they hand you a gun or hand you an experience that you don't know how to handle. And they put you in all of these predicaments. And you as a kid, you don't know how to respond to this. And most of the time, most kids will respond out of emotion. And most emotions that you respond out of is either hurt or anger. And so I feel as if, though, to answer your question, what would help Waco and just football period, people period, is just getting back to loving, get back to showing people that somebody care about them, that somebody's in their corner. And I feel like a lot of the kids in Waco, they feel by themselves, they feel alone, they feel like they're doomed. I mean, if you talk to a lot of them will tell you, well, shoot, my daddy went to jail, so I'm gonna go to jail. My mama did this, so I'm gonna do that. My grandmother, my grandfather did this, so I'm gonna do that. So I feel like they just need to be loved and shown another way other than what they're seeing on a day-to-day basis.
And I agree with that because my wife is still in the school system, and I can't wait till she leave because it's so frustrating to have that in front of your face all the time. She's at Cesar Chavez and
Lord,
guns and stuff. I'm like, what? All of this stuff. But I almost wanted to check and see, is that Ahmad Dixon talking like that? A man of wisdom and knowledge. He got to deal with the kids now. So but you're right. Broken homes, and it's just, well, that's for another topic, another day. but sports save a lot of kids.
Right.
There are a lot of kids that the coach has more influence on them than anybody else. My boys, they wasn't superstars, but I can fuss at them and tell them to do this and during the sports season, their grades were always higher. And then if the coach tell them to go get some rest, they go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Right.
And so I grew up when you had to fear or respect the coach. I grew up in that era where the coach would grab you by the face mask and be spitting in your face while he cussing you.
Yeah.
And he did everybody like that. I grew up in that era, but I mean, now you have to be so polite or politically correct. Do you find yourself having to bite your tongue a lot of times? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of that going on. So where, I mean, you got to bite your tongue and be careful. I mean, I'll never forget the time and it was crazy for me. My first time experiencing a coach cussing me out was at Baylor. Phil Bennett was the first coach ever in my life to cuss me out. And the very first time he did that, I mean, it messed up my whole day. And a lot of people don't know this. I lost my starting job my sophomore year, going into my sophomore year that spring. I lost my starting job because he moved me to the outside linebacker position, and I was so bullheaded. I was cocky, arrogant, and all of that. And I'm just like, bro, you changing my position, and I'm an All-American at what I do. You putting me somewhere I ain't never played before. But I had some bad days, and I ended up getting benched, and he ended up cussing me out. And I called my mom and my daddy that right then and there. And it threw me for a loop because I expected my mother and my father to, hey, man, he ain't finna talk to you like that, da-da-da-da-da. It wasn't that. It was my daddy telling me, hey, son, you're a grown man now. This is how life works. Sometimes you're not going to like how some people talk to you. You're not going to like how people deal with you. But at the end of the day, you have a job that you got to do. And and that's all that matters is you doing your job. And once my daddy helped me realize that this is just a part of how life goes, next thing you know, I found myself sometimes cussing him back. But it was just a learning experience. Just everybody moves different ways. You can't expect the same thing, and you got to have thick skin, and you got to know what's for you. It's almost like when you preaching, you know that what you preaching ain't for everybody. Some of it is for certain parts, is for this person. Certain parts will touch that person, and that's how it goes. You got to just take what's for you out of what you're going through, and not allow it to dwindle you mentally and spiritually and just deter you.
And I think that one thing that everybody they need somebody in their life that really care about them, that'll look them in the eye and say, "You better not quit."
Yeah.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I got cussed out by Phil Bennett. On a daily, especially when I was on scout team. I used to make them look crazy. And he was like, I got cussed out by him. I got cussed out by Dino Vapors. Coach Norwood never cussed at nobody, so I was safe with him. I got cussed out by RB, Jeff Lebb, Kendall. It was to the point to where I was in trouble, and I was just wondering, like, am I not doing my job to get cussed out? Even to my like, why they cussing you out? Like, bro, I have no idea.
I'm gonna tell you, cause you had that grin on your face all the time.
All the time.
All the time he got that little possum grin on his face. He can be guilty of sin, but he got that little grin.
I mean, even when I was playing, they'd be like, "Hey, like, we need you to hit this hole." I hit the hole, but then I'm like, "Uh-oh, this is open." And I'll go score, and they'd just look at me like, it came to the point to where Amada look at me and then look at the coach, and the coach is just it's to the point where I ask him for something, say, like, we can't tell you, we can only tell you to go here, but there's something else that you see that we can't see. And even Amada just be like, I ain't gonna lie to you, he didn't broke 280 yards, go sit him down.
Let me ask both of you this, cause both of y'all have God-given ability. It's nothing I could do in my life that could make me run as fast as either one of you. Nothing I could do. What do you say to people, say like me, if I was like not a 4.3 40 guy, what are you, 4.3, 4.2, somewhere in there?
I was
I was in a 4 flat in third grade.
if somebody like me, just a regular G, would say, "Oh, it's easy for you because you got all of it. You was born with that." Y'all still had to work to perfect that, didn't you?
I think that answer right there goes straight to my boy Mike Hicks. I believe Mike Hicks was. Everybody used to say that Mike was just average, and I used to hear from people, but Mike was a dog. Mike was a receiver in high school, and for him to do what he did, to cross over to the defense, and to think about it, I loved Amai. I knew Amai as the only one person I seen in practice lay somebody down, and that was Mike. Mike came out of bat out of hell, straight downhill. I think he struck somebody, and he laid there. Mike got up and walked off. I said, "Hey, man, I refuse to get hit by him."
Oh, wow. Hey, Coach. Yeah, that's funny. I'm calling Coach. Coach, what's the difference in football up there and football in Texas now that you eyeball?
Oh,
tell me, speak to me.
I will say our kids are more athletic. They're more.
Wait a minute, our kids. Texas.
Our kids, because I'm still I tell people all the time, my ID still say Texas, so I'm still considered Texas.
Okay.
So,
I want you to clarify that while I plug you.
Yeah. But our kids in Texas, we're more athletically gifted already. Mentally, we're a little more stronger in a sense. But on the mental aspect out here, these guys are way more coachable. They're not the most athletic guys. They're not the best athletes you're going to find, but they're coachable. They have good size and they have great work ethics. And that's the difference that I'm seeing out here. The difference between here and being back home. Not only are the players invested into putting in work, but the parents are also invested. It's not just that player going to practice and after practice they go home. No, there's these kids even in season after practice they're going to go see trainers. They're going to go get extra work in. They work out here because they understand that they're not the best athlete. They're not the biggest. I mean, they're not the strongest, the fastest, the most agile guy. So everything that they harp on is being disciplined and outworking everybody. And that's something that I see that we lack back home is discipline and hard work. Everybody's afraid of hard work. Everybody want to govern how hard work he is and all of that. But out here, these kids don't care. They're even outside. You ride around out here, you will see kids playing in the streets. You'll see kids outside playing and doing all of that. The stuff that we used to do, that's not happening back home. So here, these kids really are, and not just the kids, but the parents are invested in their career from the time they are 5, 6 years old all the way through. So I think that would probably be the biggest difference is these kids out here, they're more disciplined and they work harder.
Well, you said something right then that I've always been told. It's one thing about talent and not having character.
Mm-hmm.
So character may push a non-talented guy to be better and work harder because there's a lot of guys have made it in the NFL, made it through life that did not have the same skill set that you guys have.
Right.
But they worked hard. Blake, you want to chime in on that?
I mean, y'all hit it on the head, but at the same time, I mean, it's so different now. The landscaping, even when me and Amai went into the league, it was all political driven. There's guys that you knew for sure without shadow of a doubt, was better than. But if you didn't gel with that OC or the DC, or if you didn't have somebody that liked you, you weren't going to play or even make it. There was so many different questionable things that happened to different people, and you were like, well, why did they cut him? That makes no sense. But at the same time, you got to just understand that, once again, God don't make no mistakes. But it also starts with humility. I was always, even I think I just said this, even humility can be taught.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you gotta find that right coach. Part B happened to be Ahmad and me at the right time with the right coach at the time. They sold into us and poured into us. And the thing about it, we was doing so much extra on tour days, it was blazing hot. Ahmad seen me doing receiver routes. And Ahmad was like, yo, you can't catch anything. But then what's crazy, every time the ball was thrown to me, every time Nick threw the ball, I caught every ball. Even the ball that Ahmad thought I was going to drop when we played Kansas my freshman year, he's like, oh, please don't drop it. It was straight up the middle. It just happened to just fall right in my lap. So it just, when you put the time in, what's up?
I'm going to piggyback out there. And another reason why I can honestly say for the both of us, I know I can say this, us dealing with each other, one of the biggest things that helped us was accountability. We held each other accountable every single day. I don't care if we was tying our shoes. Hey man, that loop bigger on the left loop than it is the right loop. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Lake would critique each other that much. Lake would come to me and say, hey Ahmad, when I did X, Y, and Z, what did you see that I could have done? And vice versa. We would talk with each other, and it never got to the point to where we took nothing personal. If Blake seen me doing something, he knew he could come tell me. Even if he upset, however he wanted to address me, he could. He knew that. We knew that. And that was part of our biggest success, even when we met each other and started taking trips and all of that stuff in high school. It was accountability was one of the biggest things that we had for each other.
Because the thing about it, I used to mess with Ahmad about is he always used to over pursue. And I used to always be 3 steps ahead because when I made a move on Eddie or somebody, I can always see him and I'll take a step back and run right by me and he'd just be looking at me like, what's going on? But then all of a sudden, Ahmad started getting smarter. I used to swing the ball out wide, and sometimes he used to get me and he used to punch it out. I used to grab it again, but it's to the point to where you just start to adapt. And then once he started doing me like that in practice, it just became second nature when we played in real actual games because I used to pay attention. Even Justin Gilbert. he prime example. He used to try to punch the ball out. I think I played in my freshman year, and the dude went first round. So I think, like I said again, we made each other better. We held each other accountable. I think we still hold each other accountable. Granted, he has a whole family now. I'm still trying to remotely get to a family. It's hard out here today.
It ain't hard to get no family.
Stay strong, my black king.
It ain't hard to get no family. Start off with getting a woman and being committed to her. And she committed to you. You'll get a family. Can I get an amen?
Amen. You do right, Bob. Yeah.
Do right.
I'm trying. I mean, granted, with me being in radiology, nobody really knows. I ain't said
what
nothing.
What are you doing? Yeah, let's look at what are you doing now?
I'm in radiology school. Nobody knows anything except you and Amai, and now people know what I've been up to. I've been in radiology school. I've been grinding it out. It's super cool to be in the medical field. It's nobody even thought about me even in the medical space. Everybody thought I was gonna be a coach or a trainer, but now I was like, no, I'm gonna take it a step further. And then I just jumped into the medical field, and I really love what I do.
Now, Marge, you were still playing during the pandemic, right?
Yes, sir.
How was that when the pandemic shut? Where were you at? You weren't in Waco when the pandemic.
No, I was actually in LA. I was playing for the XFL for the Los Angeles Wildcats, and I was in LA. And when the pandemic hit, it literally stopped the whole world. Like, you literally seen buildings start shutting down immediately. I mean, and they announced the pandemic and they got us out of LA within 3 days. The whole organization was gone in 3 days.
Wow.
They sent everybody home. Everything was shut down. And they were telling us, because, you know, LA was one of the most, they had the highest rate for COVID when it first hit. And so once that hit, well, after New York and all of that, but once it hit in LA and they shut, man, it was get out of here. I mean, they were telling you, if you don't get out of here within the next few days, you'll be stuck here. They weren't letting no planes fly, no nothing. So we had to get up out of there immediately. And the pandemic, and to be honest with you, the pandemic really messed up a lot of people's future for football. But then again, you had guys like myself who the pandemic made me have to sit down and really figure out who I was outside of football. Yeah. So, I mean, I can honestly say the pandemic was probably, for me, one of the best things that happened in my life, because that was my humbling experience in life, because I had to sit down and it was in no shape, form, or fashion could my addiction, the football player, become prevalent. It was nothing I could do as that person. So I had to sit down and really figure out who I was. So the pandemic was a good thing for me, I can honestly say.
I tell you what, during the pandemic, I realized just how important sports were to me. We had nothing on but the Korean baseball. I said, man, was ESPN ever gonna come back?
Man, the pandemic
was we realized a lot of people talk about athletes making this money and all of that, but we need sports in our life. And my wife would always say, guys, we guys need sports in our life. It keeps your adrenaline up, and it's an escape for us watching you guys, because life already has all these challenges. But I mean, I'm gonna watch the Cowboys tonight. I ain't even no Cowboy fan no more, you know, but it's something to watch, it's something to do.
I think one of the coolest parts in college, I think when I came back, when I was with Ahmad every day, even before the even like during the pandemic, all I did was a game. I gamed, and it was cool for me. Even in college, I think Ahmad pulled up on me randomly, and he was like, I guarantee Lake is probably in here playing this game. He came in there. I'm like, yo, what's the deal? Cause I kept my door open. He's like, bro, you ain't going out after the game. We won. I was like, I already did. I'm here.
You shouldn't have said nothing about playing. Was it Madden or what?
No, we used to have 2K tournaments, and it would be me, Ahmad, T-Dub, Glasgow, G-Mays, Chris McAllister. It was all of us.
Hey, let me tell you a story. I don't know what time you got to go back to the coaching. Okay, it was Easter week. The guys wanted to, we have a picnic outside at church on Easter Sunday. And so Lake and about 5 guys are talking about Madden. That was Madden, right?
Yeah, it was Madden.
They never got beat. The Lake was, I I can beat all of y'all. And the other dude say, I ain't never lost a game. And so
I beat everybody except him.
they turned around and all the brothers was waiting to watch this. We were watching them play Matt like it was the Super Bowl. The most unlikely guy won the tournament.
I was so bad.
Yeah.
I beat everybody.
Lake, he said, Lake, I'm so far ahead of you, I'm just going to let the game play you the rest of the way.
I was so bad. I beat everybody.
Wow.
Lake wanted to beat up everybody. He didn't have that smile on his face. You saw that apex competitor that he was. I was like, man, that was just so funny. We were sitting up there eating our food, watching them play Madden. How crazy is that?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And, there's another thing that you said that was crazy. How instrumental football is, man. A lot of people don't know. Like for me, that was my way of yeah. I mean, and some few people know. Yeah, I was a bad kid. I fought a lot, but a lot of fights that I didn't have was because of football. So, I mean, speaking on that, like what football or what sports does for young men, man, it's crazy because, like I said, when football left my life, I didn't know what to do with myself, and my parents can attest to it. I realized, sat in my house in my room, and I shut myself up. I would do it for months at a time, and I wouldn't come out. Nobody would see me. I wouldn't talk to nobody. I would allow my phone to get cut off because I was just that disturbed because I had no football. I had nothing. I didn't even watch football. I think I just started back watching football probably like 3 years ago. I didn't even watch football for the longest because I didn't know what to do with myself. But man, once I did figure that out though, I was able to get back into football and see and value what it did do for me though. And I really want people to understand that about when kids are playing this game, that a lot of them use this as escapes or ways to compress those emotions, those feelings. So, and I want people to understand, like, don't ever feel like that's something. I understand it's a privilege, but a lot of times that's, like I say, that's people's escape. That's people's way out. I mean, I know a lot of guys that if they didn't have football, I mean, shoot, it would be over with for them. I have a friend, and I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I got a friend that just got killed. A dude named DeAndre Overton. He went to Clemson. He was about 26, 27 years old, and good football player. But we all knew every time football season was over with, we know where he was going. He's going back home to the hood where he's from, and he's going to be in that environment. And he just lost his life earlier this month, and it just is unfortunate, but it's just crazy what football can do for people's lives and how it can help you and put you in better predicament and better situations. So.
Well, I heard that. What about you, Lake?
I mean, for me, I don't even know where to start. I mean, I started off as a hooper. But no, the game has done so much for me. But also, it put me in a position because you feel like you do everything right, and then you met with all these stops. But you gotta also understand that God has something better for you. It's like the whole picture with the teddy bear. You holding on this little teddy bear, but you got a bigger one behind you. So the thing about it is that even when I was kind of getting met with the stop signs, I didn't really know what I was gonna do either. But once I really, really just sat down and allowed God to really work on me, that's why I appreciate every scar I have on my heart, because it allowed me to be to the position where I am now, so I can understand my blessing. That's why I'm in radiology, because I'm able to give my knowledge back to somebody else as an athlete. But more so now I'm in the medical space, because football players we are there. We're not just jocks. We are very intelligent. We don't have to just nothing against the coaches, because we get a bad rap of our athletes want to go be coaches and trainers, which granted, that's what they know. You can't knock them for that. But there's some of us out there that are using their ability to go further. Some of them are CEOs of companies, or Fortune 500 companies. Some of them are senior sales marketing people, and some of are all in the medical field. Some are lawyers. Yeah. It's a bunch of us starting to branch out. And the thing about me, I just want people to understand that no matter, it's not how you start, it's always how you finish. And for me, like I said again, I never would have thought that God would put me in radiology. I never would have thought. Just thinking about it, I'm like, yo, I'm in radiology, and every time I go in there in my scrubs and in class, they just look and be like, yo, I never would have thought. I never would have thought either to even be here.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this to both of you, and I know, Maj, you have to go. Coach, you have to go, and we can close up. But the reason why you see me, I'm always doing something. I feel like every 5-6 years, you need to reinvent yourself. Definitely when you get older, when you get my age, you know, this doing podcasts. I got off the radio to do this. You have to reinvent yourself, because by reinventing yourself, you're being challenged. You have to challenge yourself to do better. And like, what's the actor that played the Black Panther, when he died, I was so hurt. You know, I think
Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, because he said when he stand before God, he would be able to say, God, I used every ounce of ability that you gave me. And I feel like that's important. Both of y'all keep God first. Maj, we love you, man. I know you got spiritual guidance from your mother and father. Glad to have Lake in my life. And but let me say this, Lake would come around the offering table. You want to hear this story? Lake would come around the offering table, dodging folk like he playing football. Spinning around and stuff. We just be falling out laughing.
It is not Lake if he don't do that. You know,
right.
That's what's crazy, because long as I've known Lake, I've always known Lake, no matter what he's doing, it's some type of like juke move or a crossover, or it's just he's going to let you know without letting you know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But man, I sure appreciate y'all, man.
Oh yeah.
Big up to you, Lake, man, and big up to you, Mr. C. Keep doing what y'all doing, and I appreciate y'all.
Hey, AD.
Proud of you, man. All right, you be blessed, Coach.
AD.
Yes, sir.
Take care. AD. For you
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to get back to Waco, big dog. So I'm definitely gonna use my platform to get back to the city.
Bet. Let's get together. You know, you got my number. We gonna lock. You know what we gonna do that
for sure.
All right. Be blessed, Coach.
Yes, sir. Y'all too.
Bye-bye. Man, what an amazing conversation between the two of y'all, man. It's just to see y'all mature to the men that you are, and not just because of your age, but the maturity level, and to see the focus that you have and the drive that you have. Now, before you go, we got to talk about you doing something on the side, doing the roofing.
No, so I partner with a company. It's called Erie Homes. I just end up happening to be a part of them, and I love what they were trying to do. And I thought about it, you know what, since I have the platform, I might as well at least try to give back to my city. It's up to you guys that if y'all want something that's going to last, instead of y'all replacing your asphalt shingles every 5 to 6 years just because of Texas. I do believe that they have a product that actually can help. And I stand by it. They have metal and fiber. It's not asphalt. I honestly just feel like instead of you paying $20,000 and $30,000 every year to replace the roof, even if you do go through your insurance, I have something that lasts. And all I want to do is just put it out there that I want to be able to give back to my community as best I can and make it as affordable as best I can, because I do a lot of their marketing. So I just want to be able to help you guys as best I can. Instead of y'all paying all the money out to and especially going through your insurance, it drop your insurance premiums, but 20-30%. Even your heating and electrical, it dropped it to 30 to 40%. So, like I've been telling Pop, I just want to be able to get back to my city. If I got to come back out here and run camps, I don't mind. But any way I can to help you guys save money and do where y'all have to continue to constantly keep spending out, and y'all can have something that's going to last, and it's also going to give you resale value up to like 40 to 50% as well. I know these numbers sound crazy, but they're actually really, really real. I did all my research before I even wanted to put my name out there on something like this. So if it's something that I'm speaking of, they have everything for you. You don't have to pay nothing out. I know sometimes when you're dealing with roofers, you got to pay $20,000-$30,000 out of pocket. With the company, they got affordable financing options, which can help any and everybody. I just want you guys to understand that just because you think you're in a situation don't mean you're not deserving of protecting your family, because you got to protect your investment. If you don't, you're gonna have to pay out way more money than you would have thought. if you just fix the issue and do it right the first time, which you always told me in church.
Oh yeah, and your home is probably the biggest investment you'll make.
For sure. And the thing about it is, it's just a money pot. You just put money back into it. Even if you don't plan on even being there for long, you can always resell it. And it comes with a permanent roof that you don't have to touch for the next 50 years. It's going to win. That's the one thing that company got over on everybody else. Your fly-by roofers are the guys you be sitting at the Home Depot. You're using the same asphalt shingle that you don't know the condition of. You're just pulling them from the back of Home Depot or Lowe's. These guys literally have these kept in AC controlled environments, and it's fiberglass. It's not the typical asphalt which you can just rip. It sounds like paper. Theirs are actually can handle baseball size hail. And the thing about it is they got a warranty that's in-house that you can trust. Anything happens. And they do 1 year follow-ups to make sure your roof is still intact and everything's going perfectly. And if something is wrong, they fix it for free. You don't have to never go through your insurance again. That's the best part about working with them that I've seen. They changed a lot of people's lives, from people that you don't think that have the best credit. They got them taken care of, and and people are happy because now they can actually enjoy their home instead of having to go through insurance and having their premiums raised sky high. Everything is high right now. My job is to make sure that I can do my best with my platform, but more importantly, just make sure that you guys are safe, because you have a family or you have an aspiring family. I just want you guys to be able to invest in your home so you can make your money back.
Well, that's great. And I got your number on the screen. If they want to contact you for about that, just hit this number, 832-496-7920.
Yeah, 20.
Well, Lake, man, means a lot to me. You're like a son to me. We love you so much. It's always good to see you. You even came to our family reunion.
Oh yeah, definitely Seastrunk #Simpson for sure.
Got you some brisket.
By the way, the best brisket, but man, it was good. I definitely want to come back and get some more brisket.
Oh, we definitely got to do that. But thank you today for your time. You drove all the way up from the Metroplex to come here. Means a lot. And you helping me with this situation I'm trying to put together. Seastrunk Media. This is, what do you think about the podcast studio?
It's definitely second to none, professional. It's beautiful. Yeah, I appreciate it. It gives me ideas. But like I said again, if I had a podcast, I definitely had to have a mod do my podcast with me, because doing it by myself would not be as fun. But no, you do this by yourself. You do have a team with you, but at the same time, you're doing something that not a lot of. I know some preachers starting to get into it, but like I said again, you are kind of in the league of your own, and
something
you know that.
Outside of church, like a balance. I just can't do church 110%. Need a balance, because you get burnt out like that.
Right.
And I learned a long time ago, you just do one thing, you eventually get burned out on it. So this is part of that reinventing of oneself. And so we got the sports show. We're kicking the sports show off on Tuesday. We're going to have Coach Stimmy. You say Stimmy like it's stimulus.
That's funny.
And I call Lee Miles, I say Party Whiner Miles. And
are you still giving out? Or are you going to do the what's it called? Excuse me. It's coming to me. You gonna still do marriage counseling? I think if you do marriage counseling, I think a lot of people tune into that as well.
Well, I don't want to do marriage counseling on Facebook Live.
You never know.
We might discuss some marriage issues on the show. Churching ain't easy, but cool. That is such a sensitive topic that it's best to have those trained professionals. I can give you all of the Bible guidelines in regards to if you're preparing a marriage and all of that.
But just remember, though, you got to understand, you are like, granted, I understand this professionals for, but you're a book of wisdom. You got to understand, you got like something that a lot of people do want.
I wish more than you felt that way about me.
No, I'm serious. Like you've been married to the first lady for
to be 31 years.
31 years. Like, you got to understand, people want to hear that wealth of that fountain of wealth that y'all have together, because y'all had your ups, you had your downs. But most of the time has been in the good and the positive and the green. So my thing is, for me, is just give it back, because I'm coming to you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, I can't tell you how to have a perfect marriage, but I can sure tell you how to avoid having a bad one.
Exactly.
And when people see me and my wife, you know, it's no front. Our audio match our video.
Exactly.
The way you see us, that's how we are. We argue and fuss like married couples do. We've gotten older, so really ain't much to talk. We argue over who's going to Whataburger. You go, I went last time, type of stuff. But it's real, and you see us doing a lot of things together. I think you have to model for the people like yourself, because in a day of it's easier to get a divorce than it is to get, you know, married. So it's important that they see a good marriage. A real one, not a fake one. But not because we're doing this. So
yeah, because biblically God doesn't like divorce. It's all, but we also in a society now is that it's so heavy. Oh, if you don't do this, I gotta divorce you. But not a lot of people are like traditionally standing to the old ways. Like I'm super thankful for my grandparents. Kind of like, granted, they did step away, but my parents always told me, no matter what you do, son, try to stay in it. And then he's even being under you, seeing how you and the first lady react. This the way y'all are on audio is the same way y'all are in real life. Y'all legitimately have that ideal Martin and Gina, but it's not even like it's so far mature and evolved to the fact that it's something that definitely needs to be like talked about and given back, because so many people need that. And for me, I'm like, if I'm gonna go to anybody, it's somebody that I for sure trust and ask a lot of questions, and it's definitely gonna be you. You've been doing it for 31 years.
Well, I tell you what, then we're gonna go up. When you get ready to get married, when you find that very special person,
oh man,
you better bring them all the way to Waco. We go check them out.
I like I said again, I don't know. God could be funny. It could be. I could be thinking it's years from now, and it could be tomorrow. It could be a few months from now. For me, it's just I ain't lucky as a mod. I definitely am proud of you, my God. I love you with my very soul. I just you definitely got married before I did. I never would have thought that would have happened, but you deserve it, my God. I'm like, now in the dating world where we live in, it's hard. It's not as easy as you think it is.
Just do like I did. I prayed and asked God to bless me with a wife. And he did. Well, we get ready to go. You opened up with prayer. Would you like to pray us out?
Oh, it's funny. I didn't even know you listened to me. I was just praying just because I just prayed that I hope that
I
my
have
message.
an ear for prayer. I have an ear for prayer.
I was just more so praying that the message got out to the people that deserve, to take care of their homes. That's all I wanted to do. I just want to make sure I give back to them. And even in me coming back as a me being in radiology, I don't mind coming back to Waco. If the door's open for me to work at the hospital, I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
You want me to do it? Cool. Yeah. Hey, dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for Brother Ahmad, Coach Ahmad now, and Pastor C. We appreciate these guys. We lift these guys up in your name, Lord, that you continue to allow them to be the men that you call them to be. I pray that you continue to allow them to make the right decisions, Lord, but also seek you first. I also just want to say thank you so much for allowing me to just make it here safely. Most importantly, is allowing me to be able to get the message out that that we're trying to change Waco, trying to help Waco. We want Waco to be in a better place. We don't want it to be stuck in the poverty, any type of way it may be. We want it to be able to prosper and flourish and grow. I ask that you continue to bless Pastor C's ministry as it continue to grow. We ask you to bless the Step C Entertainment. I pray you allow it to continue to grow and go as far as that he can't see. I just ask it to be as big as you want it to be, but I also pray that you continue to allow him to be grounded and allow him to continue to give back and pour into the youth and pour into adults as well. I ask you to just continue to be with my brother Ahmad as he's married now and he's with his family. Allow him to be the head God to seek you for questions or answers that may need to be answered, and allow that you continue to allow his coaching career to grow and inspire the youth as Art and Coach Kazadi did for us. He asked all this humbly that you continue to be with us, allow our cup to be full and overflowing, God. But we're thankful that the season that you have us in now, because you want us to learn and seek you and understand that it's only you that can pull us out whatever storm we may be in. But we also understand the storm does not last. And we continue to ask for your favor, increase territory, that we ask all these things humbly in your name, God. Amen.
Amen. There you have it. God bless you.